Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to use this UV resin from Craftor. It's the hard type. This is the kit that they sent me. So I have a small bottle already open, so I'm going to use this instead of this big one, but I will go through the little kit to show you what you get. So you get these little cups. You get a bunch of different glitters. So you get, 3 of these, different, a blue, purple, and a gold. And then you get some little sequins. They're just, like little confetti pieces type of thing. And then you get these little stars. So you get some yellow goldy iridescent, you get the little blue iridescent, and then you get the multicolored. So you get those, and then you get this. I am not sure what this is for, but you get that. And then you get a couple of packs of their flowers, which I've never used, so we will be using those. And you get this little pendant mold. So you've got a puzzle piece. Is that on the inside? I guess that's in the... And you just get some different shapes. So we're going to be using that. And then you get a bottle of 500 grams. So that's equal to 5 of these with this kit. So that's a really good deal. You do get a squirt nozzle, but unless you're doing, strictly UV resin projects, to me, this would be a little overkill, but that's just me. So what I will do is I will use this to finish filling my little bottles, because to me, I can handle the little bottles easier. And then you do get your instructions. You get a little silicone mat, which these always come in handy. So let's see how big this is. Tape is sticking to me. So you get a shiny side and a matte side. So if you were using this just to pour resin on and you wanted it shiny, you would use the shiny side. If you wanted a matte side, you would turn it on the matte side and your piece would be a matte finish. So whatever the, and then you get some sticks. So that's what you get in this kit. And let's see. So make sure that you have no sunlight coming in your room. That is really crucial, because your resin can start curing if you've got sunlight coming in. So you can use the light, you can use like a UV flashlight, the sun, and even on a cloudy day, it's just going to take longer. It'll take like 10 to 15 minutes to cure. It's got low shrinkage, which that's a plus. So you pour it slowly to avoid bubbles. You can add your colorants or a pearlescent powder. Use small amounts to make sure that it's still transparent for that light to get through. Pour your mixture into the mold. Cure under a light for 2 to 4 minutes and then release from your mold. So yeah, very, very easy to use. All right, so, and I am gonna get some gloves on because my finger has split again, and I have this on this finger, so yeah. I'm a mess again, guys. And I don't even know why it broke out, because it broke out and I wasn't even doing anything. I don't know. So, oh, and this resin is on sale. I'm going to try to remember to put the link in the description box. This is the 16 ounce, so you get 8 ounces of one and 8 ounces of the other, and that's on sale, I think, through this weekend. So I did want to go over that with you. I do have a discount code for their website, so you can take advantage of a discount. All right, so let's get some gloves on, and we will start putting some stuff together. So I pulled out my double-sided UV light, and that's so it can cure from the top and the bottom, so it will take less time. And then I did pull out my cordless one just in case I need to put this to the side and just give it a thorough cure. So I'm going to keep this handy so we can use that as well. All right. Let's see, which one are we gonna do? Let's try one of the flowers first. Ooh. Well, that didn't quite work. Okay, so there is another little cover over it. So I think we're going to use this blue one right here first. So that's the back side, that's the front. So, excuse me, those of you that are new, you can use these either way. You can have it so that when you peel it off, this is your front, or you can have it be this is your front. So if you're doing it where this side is your front, you need to put your flowers in upside down. So you would want to put this facing this way instead of this way. So you would put it in like that. But if you want this to be your front, then you could put it in this way. So I am... All right, let's do this one here. So I'm just gonna get a little bit in the bottom, enough to cover the bottom, but not like completely fill it up, because I want to put a top coat over the flower. So I'm just going to make sure that it is touching all the edges. And if there's any bubbles, just work them to the surface, pick them out. Use a long neck lighter or a little bit of alcohol. I'm just checking for bubbles right now. That's what I'm... And that's one of the reasons that I leave my bottle tipped upside down. So that way you're not getting, you know, any extra bubbles in there. So we're going to take our flower. And for this one, we're going to do it facing up. So we're just going to put that flower in there. And I do want to just push around a little bit because I don't want there to be any bubbles underneath there. All right, so just like that, and then we're going to pop it in our light, and we're going to cure that. And if you turn your light away from where you're working, then you can still be working on something else over here. But if you have it this way, I would not, because you're still getting those UV lights coming out. So you don't want to do that. And let me see here. I'm going to just pull out. I'm going to pull out another mold so that we can be working on a couple at a time. Let's see. I think I have a similar mold to that. You know, which I'm sure I will have to, I do, right here. I will have to wash it, for sure. And most of it is probably on the back side, but just to be on the safe side, so I'm wiping the bulk out. I just put a little bit of alcohol on paper towel, and then I will just go over it with like a Q-tip to make sure that we got those edges. All right, so let me just get some Q-tip, alcohol on this Q-tip, and I've got some dried resin in there. So this mold is pretty scratched, so I'm going to use the back side for the back of whatever pendants we make, because it's, if not, I'm going to have to top coat it. So, and I don't want to do that. We're going to use this nice brand new mold. All right, so now I am just going to fill this. I'll put another layer, I should say. So we should have put a color in the background, but this way here we'll just be able to see how nice and clear this resin is. So again, just making sure I'm getting any bubbles out. Like there's a bunch of little tiny ones right in here. Let me get my long neck lighter. And that got most of the bigger ones, but there's still like some little micro ones. And after you use alcohol, do not go in with your lighter until you know that alcohol has dissipated, because you will catch it on fire. All right, so there's still gonna maybe be some little micro ones in there. All right, I would like doing mine in layers. I used to try to fill them all the way up, and I didn't get as nice of a look. So All right, let's do some of this. So I'm gonna pour some resin in here. And then we're gonna put, all right, does that screw off or pop off? Just pops off, okay. So we're gonna start with that much. Because you still want it to be, you want it to be full, but you also want to make sure your light can penetrate. And I'm gonna put a little bit more. It's still a little, I want this to be nice and glittery. So let's do this round one. And like I said, I'm gonna do it facing up. So we will do another one and I'll put the flower the other way so that you can see how that works. And because this is self-leveling, it will automatically fill in. So I'm just gonna go over it a little bit because you won't really see any bubbles. So we're gonna cure this. And then while this one's curing, we will finish top coating this. So this one here, I want a dome. I wanna make sure that we have, that it's filled and right to the, so it makes like a little mound on the top. And I'm watching it grab that edge and go around. All right, so that is nice and domed. So again, I'm just going to, we do have a bubble in there right there that I missed, but that's okay. And now I got some purple glitter because it was stuck on my stick. Now I'm trying to pick out little flakes of glitter. Oh my word. All right. And, oh, yeah, and don't do that. See what I just did? Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. It's going to be one of them days. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So we're going to just push that back in there. And then whatever's on here, I'll be able to peel off, but oh, I got 2 more pieces of glitter. And I am going to try and get this cleaned. And never mind, I'm just gonna make more of a mess. So the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to have to trim my piece. But as you can see, I'm gonna have to trim it because I'm just making a mess. So let's get that, put that in there, get that curing. My word. Why must I make things difficult? Okay, so I'm gonna grab these tweezers and let's see. I think that will look good in there. Now, I probably should have put my, yeah, let me just take this out. We're going to put the UV resin in first so that I know there's going to be something for that to adhere to. Okay. And I know I had just done a video because I also had the Let's Resin kit, but this way here you'll be able to see both of them. So I'm just going to push this down so that it is in the resin and we have no little bubbles like underneath that could cause an issue. And to make sure that all of our petals are secure and underneath the resin so nothing is sticking out on our top. Yeah, so if you haven't tried their UV resin yet, it is definitely worth it, and it's less expensive than a lot of the others for the same quality. In my opinion, it's just as good a quality. All right, let's cure that, and let's take this out. So that would have been the front had we done it the other way, but because we did it this way, this is the front. So I will end up, you know what, I'm gonna dome this because I want to make sure that it is nice and topped off, and then I won't have as much trimming to do. So I'm just going to go around. We're going to put a nice layer on, and then I'm going to take my scribe and we're just going to pull it to our edges. Try not to get it in that hole. If you do, you can always drill it out, but it will just be better if you don't. Just bring it to the hole, but don't go in the hole, if that makes any sense. And you just want to make sure this is right to the edge. And it won't go over unless you use too much or you spill some over it. Then it will continue if you don't clean it up. But and we'll try to get that bubble out. As I said, there are a few little tiny bubbles in there, but sometimes you just can't help it. So I'm gonna put a little bit more. This side still seems a little bit low. I think that'll do it. Just making sure it is all the way to the edge. And then I'm just gonna take this and I'm going to put it right on the metal. I just use this to be able to move it. All right, so that's the good mold. We'll put that over there. Now we're gonna finish topping this off. And I am gonna try and get this one domed at this point because there's already 3 layers, so it should be fine. And there's a few little bubbles in there. Sometimes it seems like the more I try not to get bubbles, the more I get bubbles. And sometimes I put it in and I'm just like, I don't care. And they come out perfect. I don't understand when you're trying to be so careful. Come on, bubble, get out of there. Just gonna add just a smidge more. And we're gonna pop that right in there. So that is our first one. So again, pretty clear. We could have put a color on the back. I mean, we still could put a color on the back, which, you know, maybe we will at the end. We'll see. We'll see how much time I've got left. All right, so let's do, well, oh, all right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a couple at a time. I think that might go a little faster. Let's see. My flowers back on there. So let's use my nose is itching. All right, I've got something in this one. And let me pop that little piece out. Because remember, that was our over pour. And get that out. And this one looks like it's got a fingerprint or something in the bottom. But if we have to top coat, we can top coat. All right. So this time we're going to put a layer of clear. I'm going to put my flower in upside down to show you guys the other way. And again, I want to make sure that bottom is got a good layer on it. Okay. And that actually came out pretty good. I'm not seeing no bubbles. So let's take, let's do, what, do we have another flower? We have the pink flower in there. So let's do, in what color? And that is the purple. Okay, so if we're gonna add that, let's do this dark one. So we're gonna put this in upside down. And then we're gonna just try to tap, make sure that there is no little air spots or anything under there. And try to center it. And we're gonna get that cured. And then this is, so I will have a little bit of a trim to do, but not bad. That one came out kind of cute. So you could make these keychains or pendants, you know, anything like that. And I'm just gonna stick these over there just so they can like continue to cure whenever there's something in there, just to make sure they're cured all the way through. Okay, so this is my cruddy mold. So let's do this puzzle piece. I've never done this puzzle piece, and we're gonna do these multicolored stars in this one. Where are my little scissors? Right here. We'll get another cup. So I'm going to put a bunch of those stars in there. All right, hang on. This one should be done. So let's just, we'll keep working on this one. That way there I know I have a nice, a nice mold, so it doesn't matter which side. I am gonna spray a little bit of alcohol, and then we'll pour that in. And then hopefully this will help some of those little tiny bubbles, you know, maybe pop on their own. My goodness. I'm just going around the edges because I really don't, I don't want any bubbles on the outside if you can help it. All right, so that's pretty full. There we go. Trying to wipe up the extra. All right, so let's see. We've done 3 flowers. And so we're going to back coat this one. I'm thinking we're going to use the gold. If I can get one of these separated without making a mess. And this is basically like gonna be, oh, wait a minute. And I just popped it out. Yeah, I believe that is the back. Oh, well, we're gonna find out, aren't we? I can't remember now. I don't know what is wrong with my brain today, guys. Yeah, because I believe that was the dark blue. And I did break the tension, so we might, some of this gold might sink over. Because I was going to tip it over, and then I realized, uh-oh, I can't do that because that one's not cured. Yeah. This way here, it'll just give us like a nice back color for that flower. Let me take this and scrape what I can. Okay, so, and then we can do a top coat on all of them. Let's see. Let's do this. Now I'm wondering if we like back coated this in a black, if it would give us a more intense color. I just don't have any pre-made black. I'd have to make my own. All right, so we've used the gold in that. So we'll do it in this one. And I do want enough to fill that bottom. And I gotta get some tape because I can see glitter in here. But I really don't want, not gold glitter anyhow, because we're using the other glitter. See how there's glitter everywhere? I should have moved my little thingy. And you don't have to fill these all the way. Oops, as I stick my finger in my thingy over here. Let's pour some of this. and that's just my husband. We're making ice because it's been hot and everybody's been getting ice from us, so we need to make more. We usually don't make it that often, but all right, so I am adding some more of this in there because I think I'm going to do this solid all the way through. I'll just do it in 2 layers, but I wanted to get this all mixed in first. Give them a little spritz. And we'll save that for our next layer. All right, and then we're gonna do, let me see. Let's try these little stars. Because they do have like an iridescent sheen to them. So some are gonna look yellow, some are gonna look green, so that should give a really neat look. Let's see. Let's do this one right here. And I'm not doing this as thick as I did the that one right there. Because I do want it to show that, you know, there are stars. Hopefully the alcohol is dissipated. Okay, so I'm gonna get these cured. I'm gonna cure them for 3 minutes, and then I will be back and I will get some of the embellishments out, or if we're gonna back coat some. Let's see. This one has a little bit of an overhang. Let me, I think it's too cured now to cut it. Crap. Nope. But I will have to top coat that again. I will. Where is my deburrer? All right, and that one I am not gonna I'm not even gonna try to fix because I gouged it. So I'm not gonna do anything with that one. So that's the front. Let's put a color on the back. Let me grab one of my colored UV resins. All right, so we've got that color blue. Let's do wonder how it would look with red. Red and blue. Well, we're gonna find out. So these are the Let's Resin hard type. And I don't want that rogue glitter there. So we're just gonna put just to give it a little bit of a back coat and a little color to it instead of it just being clear. And it doesn't have, this one doesn't have to really be domed. I just want it to have that little bit of color in the background. Just making sure I'm still in frame. And get that cured. Now let's finish back coating these. And that's slowly working its way around. And then we're going to do the rest of these stars. Of glitter in there I'm trying to get out, and I got it. Okay, and then we are just gonna finish filling the rest of these up with clear. I do want these to be fairly domed, so I'm going to just put a little bit. Rogue, 2 pieces of Rogue glitter in that one. You just want to make sure that there's no like bubbles in. And we're gonna pop that. And again, that's curing from both sides. So that's our little flower. See how it shows up a little bit better? And I just want to make sure that there is no sharpness. And I know I don't have any jump rings. These are the thick ones, and none of my jump rings are gonna work on those. So we're not gonna finish them off right now, but you'll at least get to see what the finished look is. So I'm thinking this could be a thing to scrape the bubbles out too. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure. And let's do, let me see, I'm just gonna mix whatever I have left, and we're gonna put it all in one thing and see what we get. And we've got some of this. So I don't know if the stars will end up showing through this, but we're gonna find out. Try to scrape as much as I can. Although glitters, they're hard. You can't get them all. No, you can't. All right, so let's see what we're gonna... So you can still see some of those stars through there. And let's see which, let's do this little round one. All right. Okay. Let's get that in there curing. Put it to the 3 minutes. And let's see how our little pieces came out. Oh, that's pretty. So this will need a top coat for sure. Oh, and why? I'm wondering if it's that mold, because this one just did the same thing. And I know my table is level. And if my table wasn't level, it would be doing it on all of them, and it's not. Just gonna go all the way around, and then we will just have to top coat. Oh, this one's really pretty. That one's really, really pretty. I did get a few bubbles. You can see them right there. But if we top coat it, those bubbles would go away. So I guess we're going to be doing a top coat, guys. Oh, look at this. This is kind of really cool. I can't get it to show you the... but you can see the stars in it. It's really sparkly, guys. I can't get it to show the sparkle that it really has. And I did go over just a little bit, so I'm just gonna get that off. Okay, now let's see a little puzzle piece. Oh, that's really cute. And this one here does not need to be top coated. And you still can kind of see the stars from the back, but that's the front. And again, my camera is just not showing how cute that really is. All right, so we're gonna top coat these 3 pieces. All right. So I'm putting it on there, and then I can take this and pop it right in. All right, I'm just gonna leave that in a little longer while we top coat these. So, and again, just pull it to the edge. Pull it to the edge of the hole without it going in the hole. So I tried to use just what came in the kit. So for you newbies, or, you know, if you wanted to try UV resin, you know, it's a nice little kit to get started with. So once I get that right where I want it, I'm just gonna pop it right in the under the light. Okay, got that one in. So when you put that top coat on glitter like that, you really, really get a beautiful shine with that glitter. So again, I want to say thank you to Craftor for sending me this kit. It is amazing. This is a great beginner-friendly, all-inclusive kit other than the light. But again, you can use natural sunlight, especially if you're, you know, in a southern state that has sunshine all the time. Not like here in Maine where we get rain. This year has been so crazy. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to tell you is if you end up with a bubble on the side, and I'll show you on that other piece kind of what I'm talking about. There is ways to fix it, but all right, let me put a top coat on this piece and then I can pop it back in. A little bit of back coat, but you know what I mean. The final countdown, the final layer. And that way it gives a nice smooth finish instead of it being rough and textured. Okay. That popped in there. We'll get this one top coated. This used to scare me when I first started doing this, and it's so easy, guys. So the next video, guys, will be something a little bit funner, but you know, I have to, when I get given something, I want to get their videos out as soon as I can, so they are a priority to me. I'm trying to make sure they're a priority. So like this one here, where it ran over, we could fill it, but it's going to run over. So we would have to tape it. So why don't I just show you now? And that way you know how to fix a piece if you screw up, right? So you want to put something there that if it runs down, it's not going to ruin your total piece, because it's going to run down there without a doubt. This tape, for some reason, doesn't want to stick. So and this one's not going to need a lot because you know, it's already been top coated, but I'm just going to try to get it, and I probably put too much. Just gonna why do these lighters have to be so hard where you need two hands? And it's running down, but my tape fell off. But we'll see if we were able to save it. So that is our finished top coated piece. Beautiful. And that is our other one. Our little flower. So by adding that gold, just really helps make that flower pop. And let's see what our mismatch looks like. So we can definitely see the stars in there, but this also needs a top coat. So I guess it's just the molds themselves, although was that my, oh, that was my old one, that's why. So yeah, when your molds start getting old and scratched, you will have to do a top coat on them. Yeah, I've got to get some bigger jump rings and even pinch bails because these are really thick. I like the thin molds for jewelry. And that's, oh, now see, I don't know if you can, yeah, right, see right there? There wasn't enough resin on here, but I did manage to fix that. So I'm just gonna have to do a little bit. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that filled without it. No, I'm gonna have to coat the whole thing. And remember, each layer that you put, the more chance of it rolling over your edges, because every time you do it, the edges get more round. So, but we should be able to just now get this flowing everywhere. because it doesn't need a lot. I just needed enough where it had pulled away there. So I will get some pinch bails and some jump rings, a little bit bigger ones. And then I will just put that on here, and then these will end up being little freebies that will go in people's orders at the craft fair if they order something. Okay, now I think that is covered. And put it in the cooker. And there is our little star piece. Really, really cute. So what I'll probably do is do the same thing on the back sides of these, you know, where they look a little bit dull. You know, but yeah, I'll just do the same thing that I did on the front, on the back, other than this one is pretty good on both sides. Just has two little areas I've got to clean up right there, and that's it. And I'll get that one cured. So that is our video for today, showing you, so I've used a little bit of all of their stuff that was in the kit. I'm going to put a paper towel and I'm just going to put these on here so that you guys can see like the final look of these. And then we have that one other one that's in there. Oh. And ta-da! So we managed to save it. So yeah, that is our video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it was a little bit long. Oh, in this one. But I did want to show you guys all the stuff that came in the kit. So, and we did the flower both ways. So yeah. Alrighty guys, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.